Hello, and welcome to Havoc Wargaming, dedicated to bringing you the uncommon. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Ron, and today we're going to do a after-action report of Force of Virtue by Masterstroke Games. So let's get started. Recently, I found myself very interested in Force of Virtue, an interesting game. If you've been a regular fan of this page, you can't help but notice that I've done a few videos of it, and I was intending to do a more tutorial version this time around, and I still intend to do that, but I kind of got sidetracked by the game. I need to sit down and probably avoid doing an actual game to try to do that, but I'm going to work on that in the future. For now, we'll call this an after-action report and go to the gaming table. This is the table we're going to be looking at. We're somewhere in the countryside of Rome. We've got two forces set up here. We have a papal unit built using cards from the Swiss deck and the Faith deck, Fires of Faith. On the other side, fighting for Baron Orsini. And the mission that we're looking at, I rolled this up. The papal troops are camped out here in the countryside, somewhere in the ruins in less occupied portions of the former capital. They have three objectives. This is an assault, which means that there are three objectives in a line. Only one of those is going to be strongbox that they're looking for. That'll be randomly determined after a easy interact is won. We're using one of the optional rolls, which means we pulled 6 cards from the scenario deck. We have something to prove, Duchess, an assassin, local militia, crumbling edifice, and overwatch order. So what happens with these is we take turns picking 3 each. Well, one at a time, and I'm going to start with the Swiss. The first step of playing this game is to determine whether you're doing a collaborative game or a competitive game. This doesn't work the way it does in most rules. When they say collaborative, they mean collaborative to tell a good story. So it's more like a narrative game in anybody else's system, and competitive would be more to show off your tactical abilities and be more competitive. It doesn't make much sense to try to play competitive when I'm just playing myself, so we're going to do collaborative. So we're going to start with the Swiss putting the something to prove on the knight. I don't think that's going to really matter. So the assassin starts hidden. Going to hide him in the trees right here. We have local militia with them right here. And that puts us ready to begin. So I rolled for a scattered deployment. Scattered means take turns deploying groups at least 12 inches away from each other. Defender places the first group. We're going to start with the attackers going first. But the first thing they're going to do, they're going to play beginning of round, actually it says it's before deployment. They're going to play Crumbling Edifice. They're going to play that on this piece of terrain. At the beginning of every round, every model within 2 inches of that will have to roll a die. And on 1 or 2, they will take a hit and must make an autosave. They're also going to play Poison, and they're going to play that on the captain. So from now on, he has to roll Unburnt Virtue every turn. And 1s or 2s, no, I'm sorry, just 1s. So his speed is burned to begin with. Burnt means it will not automatically come back at the end of the round. He'll have to rally it, and it isn't accessible to him. Crumbling Edifice. So far, the only people next to that are that unit there. Oh, no, that's not true. There are those, so we're going to roll for the Kampfstaller. He's fine. The guy nearest to the wall, he's fine. And the next one, and that's all it's going to be. And he's fine. Now, we have the Relic Bearer and the Duchess. Oh, the Duchess may take a hit. She takes a hit and has to make an armor save. Armor save is 5. She does not make that. Going to burn her Prudence. Okay, she's going to wound 5. Oh, she made it. So she's not wounded. That's going to happen from now on, so that's problematic. The way the game is played is you activate your capos. The capos give direction. Everybody's limited. They only can use so many virtue throughout a game, or throughout a round, and they can only do so many actions. A round consists of basically moving almost everybody. It's basically played until both sides pass. So the first thing that any capo has a choice to do is to either activate, pass, or sound a retreat. You get points if over half of your army survives a fight. It's not a bad idea to retreat when you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate the knight. He's going to order everyone in that unit to move. He's going to do this using, what's he got? Fortitude and Audacity. We will save the Prudence. So what that means is he's spending his Prudence and Audacity. For doing that, he gets 2 dice, one of each of those colors. And he's going to try to roll crits. We're going to order them all to move. This is a crit fail, and that is a 2. You don't use them both. You only ever use 1 die for the actual result, but you can pick which one it's going to be. The crit fail is not going to be good. We're going to take the 2. The movement in the basic game is 3 plus 1d3. Everybody he's ordering has to do the same thing. Now, as far as actions, right now this means that we have spent 2 virtue on this unit. The knight has 4 faith, so he can have up to 4 virtues spent on him. The mercenaries have 3 faith, so they've used most of theirs, and the skirmishers have 3. The men all also, in this case, have 2 actions, so they're using this is going to be one of their actions, and the capo has 3 actions. Now, he could have only moved part of them. Everything he orders on an action has to do the same thing, the exact same thing. They can't all, like if you order a move, they can't all move different directions and things. If he was fighting with, say, the swords and shields, then he would have had to activate only them, and it would be a different action and virtue points for these others. But that's not what we've done. We've done a move, and they only got 4 inches, but they're going to move towards the bowman. So that's the first turn. We're all still in command range. That's going to matter. And it is our turn now. And I think what we may want to do, we've got 3 archers in there. They don't all have line of sight. Some of them do. So they're going to go ahead and arch. They are commanded by the banner. The banner's got 2 speed and a fortitude. I'm going to go ahead and use the speed. And they're going to shoot at the unit that just came forward. Now there's 3 of them. The first one's going to shoot at this guy here. Or the guy in the pink up front. So that's a 3 and a crit fail. What you're trying to do is beat the combat on your card. Ours is 4. At this range, it drops down to 3 or higher. So, that is a hit. And there's a modifier to the armor save. He has to roll to beat his armor. He is one of the skirmishers. Skirmishers' armor save is 5 or higher, except that there's +1 to it, so it's going to need 6 or higher. So he misses his armor save. So somebody has to burn an unspent virtue, and it ought to be the knight who's right there, because he's closest. So he's going to burn a virtue, and now we roll for a wound. The skirmishers wound on a 5 or higher. Okay, so he's not wounded. The next one, shooting at the guy next to him here, that is also a hit with a 3. That's a crit fail on the armor though. And the last one, that second guy, that's a hit, 5. And also a miss on the armor. We're going to put a die on that unit to show that it fired. It needs to reload. It takes 2 to reload those heavy crossbows. They didn't take anybody out. Now, we have a couple of choices. He could try to rally. Yeah, we'll do that. Or rally. That's not successful. Goes back to the other side. So we're going to activate the Konstoffler, Audacity and Fortitude, I guess. So 5, that's going to be a 6. We're going to move cross back through here. And the marksman is going to go ahead and use his last prudence. And he gets a critical success with prudence. This is for a move. I should be mentioning that. He's over here. He's doing a move with these guys, the whole unit. So move critical success with prudence. Gain 1 free defense dice until these models are activated again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to activate the Duchess. She's going to do the Audacity. That's all she's got. All right, she gets critical success with a Audacity on a move. This is at the end of this capo's move. Any enemy capo within 6 inches must make a d6 for all unburnt virtue. There's no capo nearby. The Duchess and the Relic Bearer come out. So Orsini's turn. Orsini's going to pass. Then it is the Papal turn, and they're going to pass. So that ends the first turn. And we now return 2. So this is what I meant by refreshing. All the spent but unburned comes back. If it's burned, it does not just come back. It has to be rallied. Now the person who passed first goes first, and that's going to be the Orsini troops. The knight is going to try to close with the guys in that bridge there. He's only got 2 he can actually use. He's going to use his Audacity and Prudence, not necessarily the best way to attack. And he gets 2 5s, so that's going to be 6 inches. That's going to get him into contact. And the way this game works, they're not going to get the free fight that you would normally get. Well, they kind of do. They're going to be able to use those dice without taking another action and without spending another virtue for their fight. They can if they want. Okay, they're not all going to get there. Actually, this unit was in 3, so he could actually order them too. Leave that there because that'll remind us. I think the crossbowmen are going to have to fight. We're going to go ahead and order the Konstoffler. Same thing we just did. A Audacity. And he's going to order the pikes to come down through here. All right, so we're going to drop that red one. He's got a critical success on movement with Prudence. Gain 1 free defense dice until these models are activated again. So that's worthy of mention. Actually, we need to keep that die. They're going to get a free defense dice, which is going to be important. It's their turn. I'm going to go ahead and activate the marksman, and he's going to use 2 speed, which is going to add speed dice to his roll, to attack the guys that just joined him. So this is going to be simultaneous for all of Orsini's. The halberds have a range of 1. This halberd in the back is going to go last because he's not on the front line. And I'm leaving the Nafsalar disengaged so he can rally. which is going to be important soon. So the first ones are all going to be simultaneous. We have a choice of dividing dice, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to give. It has to be the same all the way across the board. So all of the Orsini are going to use one blue, one prudence for defense, and the rest are going to be attack. I think on the other side I'm going to use all attack because I get a free defense die. And I'll go ahead and put the yellow one in there to use as their free defense. All right, so these are all simultaneous. So, oh, shouldn't have rolled that yet. So we get a 3 for the first fight. Mercenaries, Tatus 4, so that's a miss. The next one is a miss, and the last one there, we have a choice of a speed or an audacity. Now, in melee, an audacity, in addition to your hit, you may roll another hit or roll another speed attack die. And if it hits, treat it as a separate attack. So I have a chance of either burning a virtue on a 4 or higher or getting a second attack. I like the idea of burning a virtue. So first let's roll for that. 4 or higher, nope, doesn't roll a virtue. So we're going to roll for the defense, for the hit. This is going to be a citizen militia. Okay, so that fails. So he's going to take a hit. Armor is 5. So he fails an armor roll. So that means he's going to have to burn a virtue. And he has to roll a wound. And he's successful on the wound. This one here, that's a successful prudence, +1 penetration to weapon for this attack. So it's going to be a +1 to the armor roll. These guys have 5 or higher, so it's going to be 4 or higher. Oh, but they get a chance to defend first. And he does. It's a proper defense. The other guy back here, or this one here, at him. Same thing. But he has a chance to defend. He does. And the one in the back now, this one is not simultaneous, but it won't really matter. That's a 4. That is a hit. Defense is also successful. So they come through that all right. It's the Orsini's turn. He's going to try to rally. Oh, I forgot to roll for the crumbling edifice. So the relic bearer actually got killed by crumbling items. And the Duchess was also killed by crumbling stuff. We'll try to rally the knight. He does. We're going to pass. And Orsini has to pass, so turn ends. Kampfstadler is going to try to fight. Going to use audacity and speed. We're going to use their speed. They would have to spend something now. Prudence and speed. All right, so first 3 here and the first 2 there are simultaneous. I think I forgot the modifier for that. So, first one. A speed hit on melee, roll another speed attack die, and if it hits, treat it as a separate attack. It does not. It saves on a 5. He does not save. It's going to burn. And now he needs 6. He does not die. On the other hand, we have 5 up. Okay, so we have to burn. And we save on also 6. That one's a success as well. All right, next fight. These two guys here. All right. Those are both hits, but one is a crit. Crit on melee. Roll another speed die. If it hits, treat as a separate attack. Yeah, it does not. All right, so this guy needs 5 or higher. He gets it. This guy does not get it. He has to burn. Could burn one of his. And he's dead. And lastly, not a hit. And now the very last one. Oh, that's going to be 3 hits. Now, that does break the armor. Also, 2 of them do. This may have changed the game. And then 6s or higher. And that's a dead. All right, this is pretty rough because I don't have much I can do here. I don't want to fight if I can help it. And they can't fight. I'm going to pass. This is with the Papal guys are passing. No, I'm not. I'm not going to pass. I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack with Audacity, Virtue, and defend with a purple. So yellow, red, and purple. Against their main guy, he can't do anything. All right, we're going to play no more Virtue. This should have been on the other turn, but it unburns his 3. We're going to use the blue for defense. No, they get a free defense die. We'll use... This is all simultaneous. We're going to fully attack. So the first archer gets a hit. They try to defend. This is a skirmisher, not successful. Means he's going to have to burn one of those. And then we roll. Doesn't penetrate. But that guy fights back. 4. That's a hit. On an archer, saves on a 5. Nope. They have to burn. And then we roll 5 or higher. We do not. So one of these archers is dead. The next one. That's a hit. And that's a parry. Hitting back. That's a hit. Goes through the armor, have to burn another, but it does not kill him. Now the halberds on that guy. I think he's too far away, but that one isn't. That's a hit. And that's a failure. But he makes his armor roll. That's the Orsini's roll. Orsini has to try to, that's all that there is to it. He has to try to get those back. So we're going to rally Orsini here. He gets 1. The bannerman has to try to roll. He gets nothing. I'm going to go ahead and bring the assassin on. go ahead and spend one of these to move. They're going to go ahead and try to attack him. It's a hit. He's going to defend. Oh, stops it. Next one that can reach him. I'm going to try to rally. Do not. What I'm going to do right now, I think, is bring on the assassin. He's been hiding over here in the trees. And he's going to try to close with the archers. He's got... I should have put more stuff on him. He's only got fortitude. I'm going to go ahead and spend a fortitude. Try to move him forward. Not fortitude, yeah, that's prudence. Yeah, it's got prudence 4. So it's going to move 4 inches. Right into contact with one of the archers there. And now we'll go over to the fight just here and activate the Konstaffler. What I'm going to do is try to attack the guys in front of him there. We're going to go ahead and use speed and audacity. Now let's use all of them. We're going to use speed, audacity, and fortitude. I will use the fortitude as a defense. The marksman's got prudence and speed. We'll use a prudence and a speed. It's only actually going to involve these two and these two because he's out of range. And this one is simultaneous. This one, it is the halberd and then the marksman. So we will roll this one first. I said that we were going to use prudence for defense. So the attack for the papal forces, that's going to be a 4. Do I want to give a defense here? I didn't see how I was going to divide that up. Speed and prudence. Do the prudence for defense. That's a fail. So that's going to be a hit. We have to armor saves on a 5 or higher. That is a fail. So he's going to have to burn his last speed. And then we're going to roll 5 or higher, except the halberd makes it 6 or higher. And that's a fail. So he's gone. That was simultaneous though. So his attack should have been a 3, and that would be a miss. Yep. So the next one, oh, yeah, I need that. The next one, that's going to be a 5. That's a hit. He's got a defense of 5. It's probably going to be a success. Yeah, so he manages to block that. And then it's his attack. That's going to be a hit. He has to beat armor 5. He does. So we're going to have to burn, except that I did get a defense. Nope. Then he has to burn. And then you have to roll to wound. We need a 5 or higher. Did not get it. No, that was wound save, so that is a hit. So he's gone. Back to the assassin. He's going to spend his last fortitude, which is probably not the best choice. But it doesn't matter because you don't roll on this. He's going to try to do a simple, it's a successful convince action. Doesn't say how many, so. And he's got them. So he makes friends there. We're going to pass with papal unit, and then it's going to fall to the Orsini. Orsini's going to go ahead and attack using prudence and a fortitude. Prudence and a fortitude. 2 guys can hit. All right, so the first guy, who's a sword and shield guy, skirmishers, that's going to be a miss. My guy hitting back. I'll go ahead and use a fortitude. That's a miss. And then the halberd. That halberd gets a 6 with a fortitude. Prudence. +1 penetration to weapon for this attack. So 6 is going to be a hit. Armor save. Gets through. He's going to have to burn his other speed. And then we're going to have to roll a 5, or he hits 3 or 6 or hits. So Archer is gone. But we're not disengaged, at least. We'd already passed, so it falls to Orsini. Well, we could try to rally, so let's do that. And that is rally. And then pass. It's the Orsini's turn. I think I'm going to try to move the marksman 1 speed. 4 inches. I'm going to move Audacity and Fortitude into the fight. 5. I'm going to use 2 Fortitudes to try to move. All right, so we got a 3. That's going to be 4 inches. I'm going to move the militiaman to come and join with the marksman there. And now we're going to do the fight itself. We have red and purple already on there. I'm going to use an Audacity, Prudence, and Fortitude. So I'm going to use the Prudence as our defense. So the first fight we're going to do, we'll do the 2 leaders first, I guess. That's simultaneous. So we'll do that first. Konstoffler has a mace, so he does enemy army save, no defense. Do I need to do defense? I could. Yeah, I'm going to try to do a defense. So he's just going to roll the 1 die, and that's a crit fail. That is not good. A crit fail on melee with Audacity. Receive 1 hit from the model you are attacking. Well, that's not good. The model we're attacking needs to roll a 3. Okay, well, he misses. So that's so much for the free hit. However, that was only his attack. He's gonna swing back. He's gonna get a 4. That is a hit. Kopfstalder returns with a parry, which is successful. So that's successful there. Nobody hit there. The next is those 2 halberdiers. So this halberdier gets a 4, and that one gets a 5. So the Orsini halberdier successfully defends. The papal halberdier does not. All right, so that's going to be a hit. Armor save 5 or higher. Okay, he makes his armor save though. And then we have this halberd on here. No, these 2 halberds there. So the first one, crit success, and the first one on that side is a 2, so that's a miss. The Vatican side is going to hit. Now this is a melee crit with an Audacity. In addition to your hit, you may roll another die. On a 4, your opponent must burn a virtue. 4. So he has to burn a virtue. And his armor roll, 5 or higher, makes his armor roll though. Wow, nasty fight going on there. Keep forgetting to roll my poison. I think That's going to be, oh, might as well try to recover, right? So Orsina's commander is going to try to rally. He is unsuccessful, and that's a pass and then pass. So the Orsinis are going to go first for the next round as well. To get their unspents back, the first thing we're going to do is activate the assassin with a fortitude. He's going to try to move over to the chest near him. He fails. Prudence, I keep doing that. Critical failure, he's going to move away from the nearest enemy unit. So what, 4 inches? He shows a little cowardice. Pulls back near to where he started. Not what we wanted. To the Vatican forces, I'm going to rally with the Bannerman. He gets nothing. And then I'm going to activate Orsini. We're going to attack with an audacity and a prudence. We're going to use prudence for defense. And we're going to defend with audacity and fortitude, using fortitude as a defense. So this time, this fight again is simultaneous. So it's a 5, that's going to be a hit. 2, that would be a miss. He has to roll for defense, and he gets a critical success, so that's not a problem. The next one is these 2 fights here, completely simultaneous. That's going to be a hit. That's going to be a miss. The hit, this is roll again, and if you get a 4, yep. I have to roll again if I get a 4 or higher. No, okay. So don't burn. But that is going to be a hit. Have to be, the armor save is 5 or higher, 6 or higher because it's a halberd. That is a miss. That is going to burn another virtue. And then we have to roll for wound. He wounds on a 5 or higher, or 6 or higher, actually. Or saves on a, so he doesn't save, so he's gone. The next fight is these 2 guys. That's going to be a miss. That's going to be a hit. A 4 or higher, it's going to cause a burn. That could be a problem. And on a 6 or higher, it's going to kill. I mean, it's going to wound. It's going to stop a wound, but it doesn't, so that's a hit. So he's gone. That unit just got wiped out, pretty much. Our turn. Bannerman's going to use one of his actions to cause a rally, to allow him to rally. And he gets 2 of them back. His second action is theirs. I'm going to go ahead and use the other prudence to try to get the scaredy cat assassin to move again. And he won't. He's going to move further away again. He's leaving the table. We're going to have to pass for the Romans. Pass. So now we go to the next turn. It is turn for the Papal Legions. We're doing poorly. All right, I'm going to sound the retreat, I think. I'm not doing well here. So the Bannerman is going to try to sound the retreat. So that's a pass for the Papal side. Going to activate the Marksman with 1 speed. And that's going to make it 5. He's going to go to that chest. He can actually bring these guys with him, I suppose. Goes back to the Papal. They've passed or sounded retreat, so they can't go. So we will spend 1 prudence to try to do a check on that box. Great. That is nothing. I can't activate anything else. So the Orsini would have to pass, and that would end the game because we did a retreat, order to retreat. So the troops would pull out. I think we can order a retreat. If I can't, it's because he's engaged. But I don't think that's a rule. So I think we can retreat out of here. Things are going pretty badly for the Papist troops. So there was the game. The unfortunate circumstances for the Papal forces, things deteriorated for them pretty quickly. I did the Sound the Retreat because I like to play sort of narratively and campaign like even when I'm not playing a campaign. And I wasn't going to have any troops left. Things were going miserably poorly for the Papal forces. I'd have to check and see what the rules are regarding objectives. I don't know if you win the objectives if you hold the field at the end of the game and they leave, or if neither side gets the objectives when the game ends early. Because the objectives hadn't actually been found, but it was also deserted, so I don't know. It doesn't really matter. All that, if we were playing a campaign, it would matter because it would mean 2 victory points for the Orsini, as opposed to only 1 for having survived with over 50% of their men. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I wish I had answered more questions than I had intended to. I will try that again. But if you do have questions that I might be able to address, please put those in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to answer what I can. Also, if you have any ideas for further content you'd like to see us produce here on Cry Havoc Wargaming, we look at the comment section for those as well. I have a little bit of a backlog. I've fallen way off schedule for the last month or 2 because of situations at work. So I do have some things that have already been requested that I'm working at doing. Another 200 hours video, for instance. A new replacement of my old How to Play Carnivale video is on my list of things to do, besides some other projects I happen to be working on my own anyway. But if you have further ideas, we'll go ahead and add those to the queue. Also, if you've enjoyed the video or found it useful, I hope that you'll hit like. And if you'd like to receive further notifications for videos like this one, or others that may help you better determine how to spend your money or time in your tabletop wargaming hobby, then I hope you will hit subscribe and ring our notification bell. Till next time, cheers.